This is Caitlin, your host of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, where we get no sleep and survive on coffee to watch just one more episode at night. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, and we are here. We finally made it. I know this is a little late. January's almost done, but I am here to talk about my top dramas of 2024. So there's going to be 2 episodes for this. I'm going to do my top Korean dramas, which is the episode you're listening to right now. And then I'm going to talk about all the other non-Korean dramas and my top ones for that. So there's 2 episodes releasing this week for this, and this is my top Korean dramas of 2024. Now, if you've listened to the Tea and Soju Drama Trio's End of the Year wrap-up episode, you will have heard some of these that I will be talking about, and some you have not heard yet, because I could only come up with my top 5 for that episode, and it was a mix of both Korean and non-Korean dramas. So if you want to check that episode out, you can go to the blog for this episode, and I have it linked there. I will also probably have her podcast linked in the description of this episode as well. So you can go find that over there and check it out sometime. Now, I think I've been doing this list since I created the blog. So if you guys are new here, you've never been to my blog for the No Sleep for Dramas, I'll explain how this happens. Every year, I come up with a list, Korean dramas for one, non-Korean for the other. I split it into 2 blog posts, but now it's going to be podcast episodes. This one's going to be all about Korean dramas. The special one I'm releasing later this week will be all of the non-Korean ones. And it will be my top 10, and then if I have more, there'll be some honorable mentions. Some years I've had honorable mentions and some not. This year I do have honorable mentions, but it's not for the reasons you think, which I'll explain in a minute. So 2024 was an interesting year for me, and I know I've talked about this on multiple other podcasts, both on my own as well as others. I did not watch as many Korean dramas as I wanted to, or at least as many as I thought I would be watching. Granted, at the same time, I have watched less dramas in 2024 than I did in any other year. So the fact that I've watched less dramas than any other year proves that I didn't watch as many Korean dramas either, because my number is down, right? I also just didn't start many Korean dramas because I either knew I wouldn't like them or time got away from me. So there's actually a couple Korean dramas I really would like to check out in 2025 that I missed in 2024. But I also was pickier. I didn't click play on as many as I normally would have 4 or 5 years ago. And I think that's intentional. I think I've gotten better with that. There were months I also was just not watching a single airing Korean drama or otherwise, or an older Korean drama, which isn't the norm for me. Usually I'm at least watching one, if not more than one. So, and that's for various reasons. One, they all ran out and then I just didn't pick any new ones up. I wasn't interested in any of the upcoming airing ones for that month, so I didn't pick any of them up. I was more pickier. I dropped some, so that caused me not to have any on my current watch list. There was many reasons why that happened for multiple months, but that means I watched other dramas to fill in those gaps, which I'll talk about in my next episode. I still watched enough dramas, Korean dramas though, to make a list. It's not like I'm picking from 5. I've still watched the majority of my dramas I watched in 2024 was still Korean dramas. My number was down, but it still was the majority I watched. I would kind of like to change that number in 2025, but we'll have to see what happens. This year, 2024, was probably the easiest year to make this list though, because even though I still watched a lot of Korean dramas, I did not give a high score to many I did watch, and I also didn't watch as many. So, I think, I want to say I watched, let me look this up really quick. So, in 2024, for my total number of dramas was 55 dramas. I watched 55. 26 of those was Korean. 15 Chinese, 8 Japanese, 5 Taiwanese, and 1 Thai drama. Comparison to even just 2023. In 2024, I watched a total of 55 dramas. In 2023, I watched a total of 64. So I watched 10 less dramas in 2024. I watched 38 Korean dramas in 2023. In 2024, I watched 26. I watched more than 10 less Korean dramas in 2024. That kind of just explains why this list was easier to make in 2024 than it was in 2023, 2022, that type of thing. And I will say this, I barely had enough Korean dramas to make this list because of this ratings, just because of the things that I dropped and things like that. Hopefully, I can watch more Korean dramas in this year, in 2025, to have a bigger pool to choose from. But that being said, due to the ratings and everything on my list, I gave a 9, 9.5, and a 10. All of my dramas on this list are highly rated for me. And that usually happens. I usually take the highest rated ones and I make a list, and they're not really ranked. But sometimes that's harder to do because there's so many I ranked high. This year, 2024 was not that case. I kind of just was like, oh, okay, I have 10. And that's it. And I want these lists to be difficult to make. I want them to be difficult to make because that means I had a good drama year. And for me, 2024 was okay. If I was only watching Korean dramas in 2024, I do not think it would have been a good year for me. I will say this, though. 2024 was an awesome year for crime Korean dramas. I will gladly say that. We had some amazing crime dramas in 2024. And some I still need to check out because I ran out of time. That's my little spiel on this list. Disclaimer, as always, my list of Korean dramas is in no particular order, and the dramas are not ranked except for number 1, because I knew my number 1 would be my number 1 and nothing would be going above it. So on both my Korean list as well as my non-Korean list, my number 1 is my number 1, and that is the only one that's ranked. The Korean dramas on this list did not have to air in 2024. I just had to watch and complete them in 2024. Sometimes I pull in an older Korean drama for various reasons, like a podcast episode or something, and it might be one of my favorites I watched this year. Of course, I'm going to put on my list because I want people to watch things that I think are good, and maybe they find the new favorite drama, you know? If your favorites are not on this list from 2024, honestly, it's probably because I actually did not watch them. I know I missed a few dramas like Blackout from 2024 that I really want to go back and watch. Or I just didn't like them. But most likely it's because I didn't watch them, because I was more picky. I knew what genres I wanted to watch. If I saw something in the trailer and I knew I wouldn't like it, I didn't even start it. Most likely, your favorites aren't on this list is because I didn't watch them. But let me know what you think of my list. Let me know what some of your favorite Korean dramas of 2024 are. I'm sure I know some of them. I'm curious if any of mine are on your list as well. I make these lists to suggest some dramas for you, as I said, and I want to discuss them. I want to discuss your favorite Korean dramas. I know some of mine favorites are not on anybody else's or anybody I've heard of, and some I know are on people's favorite lists. I want to know what some of your favorites of 2024 are, and maybe you can check out some of the ones that you didn't check out on my list and let me know what you think. Try out a new genre or something. That all being said, let's actually get to this list. I'm going to go from my honorable mentions up. So the last drama I'll be talking about is my number 1 drama of the year, the one that's only ranked in this entire list. So, honorable mentions. There's only one honorable mention I have, and really the only reason it's in the honorable mention is it's not a drama, but I still want to talk about it. I still want to shout out it, and it is Culinary Class Wars, the cooking reality competition show that is on Netflix. It was 12 episodes. This thing, when it was airing, I was obsessed. And it was it is still one of the best things I watched in 2024. I mean, you probably are not surprised this is even on my list, let alone honorable mentions, because how much I raved about this show on my podcast episodes as I was watching it and on my social media. I loved this. And I remember really trying not to binge this show in one sitting because I didn't want it to end. The competition was intense. You could see that like the chefs really respected each other, even if they were competing against each other. I love the dynamic of like the underdog chefs versus the famous Michelin star celebrity chefs. I advise you not to watch this show when you are hungry. I'll say that right now. It's great. I'm so happy it's coming back for season 2. I really hope they shake things up and they make it harder because the competition was intense in this one. I can't wait to see what they do to make season 2 even more bombastic. And it was so entertaining. It was so entertaining. You get to watch these very talented chefs cook amazing looking dishes, really use their creativity in ways they were never able to do or never even thought they were able to do because they were thrown into these competitions and it was their first time doing this type of thing. The show is brutal in eliminating people, which is part of the fun at the same time. And you could see these chefs really thinking out of the box and learning from each other. And even if it's like a veteran chef learning something from an underdog chef, it was fun watching these chefs cook. And you can't help but root for the underdogs in this show. As I said, like in my review, I do wish there were more interactions between the chefs and more camaraderie and kind of like a friend behind the scene type thing. Maybe we'll get that in season 2, maybe not. But I highly recommend the show. It's just very entertaining. It's one of those shows that you can turn your brain off and kind of just watch if after like a hard week at work or something. I'm so glad we're getting a season 2. I'm so glad. And if you're interested in my more in-depth review of this, I do have a podcast episode review on the podcast, so you can go back and listen to that. Now, the only reason why it's an honorable mention is it's not a drama. So I put it in my honorable mention. All right. My first Korean drama I'm going to be talking about, in no particular order, is Crash. It's 12 episodes. It's on Hulu, Disney Plus, wherever. I knew going into this drama I would like it. But I was surprised because I didn't anticipate how much I would enjoy this drama. People know me. Crime is my bread and butter. You throw a crime drama in front of my face, I'm going to click play. I'm going to watch it. I know I'm going to like it for the most part. I didn't think when they showed Crash and they showed the trailers and it was all about a team who was investigating crimes related to cars. I was like, okay, that could be a drama. You could have accidents, you could have murders with cars, but how many crimes and different, unique, interesting crimes can you do with crimes related to vehicles? I feel like that would get boring after 6 episodes or something, because in my mind, it was like the same crime over and over again. That is definitely not the case. They were very creative when it came to the crimes in this show. And I think a lot of people just kind of skipped this drama because I think other dramas were airing at the time. I wish more people went back and watched this one. It's getting, like they have said it's getting a season 2. So I hope we actually get a season 2 because it was a lot more fun than I anticipated it to be. And I think it just flew under the radar. And the crimes described, they were very creative. It was a unique take on crimes related to vehicles. And I love the team and I love the found family. I will say, I think this drama could have been 10 episodes and not 12. The last episode, in my opinion, really wasn't needed. It was kind of just there to potentially set up a season 2. I'm really glad it wasn't a 16-episode drama, though, because I think that would have had the lull, the typical lull in episode 12 to 14, 15, something like that. So I'm really glad it was only 12 episodes, even if it really didn't need the last episode at all. I'm excited to see what they do in season 2 if this comes back, but I rated this a 9 out of 10. Next one I'm going to talk about, and I'm sure this is a drama on a lot of people's list if they did check it out, and that is The Atypical Family. 12 episodes. It's on Netflix. I was a little biased going into this drama because Jang Ki-young stars in it, and he is one of my favorites. I went into this already knowing I like him, and I liked the setup of this on paper when it first was announced that this drama was coming out with the synopsis. The description of it, I think, was somewhat vague. It gave me the idea that it was going to be like superheroes. And then we got The Atypical Family, which was not what I was expecting from the assumptions I made from that very small synopsis that we got when they first announced this. And I will admit, in the beginning, I wasn't sure if I was going to complete this drama for various reasons. One, it was not what I was expecting, so I had to kind of turn my brain around and get my assumptions out the window because I knew it was not going to be a drama I assumed it was going to be. Two, I did not like the female lead when she first showed up. For at least the first 4 episodes, I was like, oh, she is not a character I like. And I almost dropped it because I could not figure out why I didn't like her, but also I just didn't like her. And usually I give a show 4 episodes or so. But then at the end of episode 4, maybe episode 5, we got more on her character, and I kind of understood where she was coming from by that time. I was like, oh, okay, I will watch more of this. I am so glad I stuck with this because I think I would have missed out on a really good drama if I dropped it. I love the found family. I thought it was a really unique twist on the quote-unquote superhero genre. It wasn't really a superhero genre, but people with powers, essentially. Acting was really well done. I thought the drama was really creative with the powers and the real-world problems affecting them. I thought the drama had some good messages being told. I liked the romance. I didn't mind the romance, but I don't think that was the highlight of this drama for me. I thought the other relationships, particularly the father-daughter relationship, or even the female lead and his daughter's relationship, were highlights for me. I loved how those relationships blossomed and were complicated in the beginning and kind of tried to figure itself out by the end, how they kind of progressed through the entire thing. This drama has a lot of emotion and discusses a lot of societal and life issues, which I thought was done quite well. I have a review of this on the podcast as well, if you'd like to go and listen to it, just for my more in-depth, detailed review of this, because again, I'm not trying to give major plot points away in this list or anything. But if you have not checked out The Atypical Family for various reasons, I know a lot of people didn't check this out, for example, for the fat suit thing, or they thought that Jang Ki-young was playing the same character again, or they didn't like the female lead and they dropped it like I almost did. I would say give this a shot. Give this a second chance because I was pleasantly surprised by this. I knew, again, I might be biased because Jang Ki-young's in it. I almost dropped this though. I will, hands out, I almost dropped this after episode 4. I'm so glad that I did not because it, again, has become one of my favorite Korean dramas I watched in 2024. I rated this a 9 out of 10 because I did have issues with it. It wasn't a perfect drama, but I rated it a 9 out of 10. Next one I'm going to talk about is Parasite the Grey. I honestly don't know if a lot of people watch this or not. I want to say yes, but not a lot of people talked about it, myself included, I will say. But again, this is another one that surprised me because I went into the drama expecting it to be bad. And the reason that is because it was sold as it was based off of a very popular anime, and the Japanese have already adapted it into live adaptation stuff, which are very good. The movies are very good in my opinion. And so I was skeptical how this would go because I did not want them to just copy the anime because it wouldn't have made sense in Korea and everything like that. And her history and what we've gotten in live adaptions, I don't really have a lot of faith when it comes to live adaptions a lot of times with anime because a lot of times it has not worked out. It has been bad. I was trying to go in with no expectations, but I really couldn't. I was afraid it was going to taint the original material. It definitely did not do that. It was not a direct remake, which was very nice. And I think it was a spin-off in a way. And I think they handled that very well, where they still connected. You still got that connection to the original source material, and you knew it was connected to that original source material. But they spun off of that original story and made it their own, made it uniquely Korean, made it uniquely their world that they can now build off of if they choose to. And I really hope they do. I think I appreciated this also a bit more because I had seen the anime before I watched this. But if you like post-apocalyptic monster stuff, check this out. If you have not checked this out and you like that stuff, watch this. The acting was great. The CGI really sold me on the drama. The fight scenes were creative and really drew you in as well. I love how it was basically a spin-off, but the story was unique, but still had ties to the source material. I would love a season 2 of this. It did not have a cliffhanger or anything, but it definitely left crumbs that they could do a season 2. Which would be interesting to explore, especially with that cameo at the very end. And I'm not going to spoil what that was, but the cameo was awesome and was very unexpected. And I think I literally was like, oh my God, I shouted at my screen. I did a review on this. Technically, it was a versus episode. I watched the anime and this, and then I kind of did a versus episode. I have another mini review in that episode if you'd like to go back and kind of really listen on what was similar between the two, but also what was very different. If you missed that, you can go back and check that out. Yeah, but if you like monster, zombie, post-apocalyptic, dystopian type stuff, give this a shot. I would recommend this. That was Parasite the Grey. I gave this a 9.5 out of 10. I loved this drama. Next up, we have The Judge from Hell. 14 episodes. I watched it on Hulu or Disney Plus, depending on where you live. Again, this is another drama that I knew I would like, but I had reservations for it because I was not the biggest Park Shin-hye fan. I don't dislike her. I just don't think I've seen enough of her to have a opinion other than like her classic Korean dramas that I have seen her in. What really drew me into this drama to check it out was the synopsis, was the story. I was really curious to see how this demon was going to be a judge on the human world and how that would change her or not change her. And what do you mean this task of taking these criminals to hell? Like, I was interested in that story. So whoever was acting in this, in my opinion, really didn't matter because the story already drew me in. I was going to check it out no matter who the cast was. Even if I'm not the biggest Park Shin-hye fan, I wasn't not going to watch this because she's in it either, you know? I was pleasantly surprised by Park Shin-hye. I think this was my favorite role of hers that I've seen her do. And I knew as I watched this Korean drama that it would be on this list. It would be my top Korean dramas of 2024. So not really surprising it's on this list. If you know what I like and what I watch, it's also not probably not surprising for you that it's on this list. I love Park Shin-hye in this role. I think this is my favorite role of hers. I loved how unapologetically evil she was. I loved how gray these characters were. She also was funny. Her character reacting to the human world was comedic, which I was not expecting, and it went well. It wasn't overboard. It went well with the story. It gave her character more charm. She wasn't just straight up evil the entire time. It was unexpected, and I'm surprised I liked her character so much. Everybody, though, in this show, I loved how gray all of these characters were. She started out evil and grew somewhat good throughout the show as the show progressed. Kim Jae-young's character was the opposite. He started out really, really good, and then as the show progressed and stuff happened, he went, for lack of a better term, went to the dark side. He started becoming evil. He started to be morally gray. And the chemistry between Park Shin-hye and Kim Jae-young was great, in my opinion. I thought they had great chemistry. I love that Kim Jae-young took this role. I have loved him before this drama. I think this drama really has gotten him more recognition for how good of an actor he is. This role also, I think, has allowed him to stretch a little bit because this was really my first time seeing him play a character that was morally gray, that was evil at times, and he pulled that off really well. And I definitely need to go back and check out some of his dramas I missed from the past couple of years that I just have not gotten around to watch. But I'm really glad people have but were introduced to him through this drama, because I think this drama was his first after the military, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I'm glad to see him back on my screen, in my opinion. I love the story. I love the lore of this drama. I will say, trigger warning, it is very violent. Park Shin-hye's character punishes these people by making them relive their crime. It's very violent. If that's not your thing, so yeah, you might not want to check this out. There was one thread of this drama that did not wrap up at the end of the drama, which left me with some questions. So it's not the perfect drama ever. You don't really have a perfect drama, in my opinion. Overall, though, it's very entertaining. I also did predict one character's outcome, but that's not because of the plot or anything, so I'm not really mad about it. It's just if this actor, this particular one actor, shows up in a drama, 9 times out of 10, they are evil by the end of the drama. I've seen this actor play so many villains in dramas. He has done it so many times that anytime he shows up and he doesn't turn into a villain by the end, I'm pleasantly surprised. This was not the case. He definitely turned into a villain eventually. I predicted that part just because he was the actor, not necessarily the plot. It wasn't a badly written plot or anything like that. The revenge was very satisfying to watch in this drama. Violent, but satisfying, which was part of the fun. I gave Judge from Hell a 9.5 out of 10. Next one I'm going to talk about. This Korean drama, not sure if it flew under people's radars. I'm not really sure. I remember there was a couple people watching this as I was watching it and loving it as much as me. And this was aired before Blackout, and I have not seen Blackout. So I don't know if I'm sure Blackout probably would be on this list if I watched it in 2024. But this is the Korean drama Connection. I watched it on Viki. It is 14 episodes. This was nearly a perfect drama for me. Nearly. If they had taken one thing out, it would have been a 10 out of 10 for me. It was so much better than I expected it to be, because when they introduced this drama, it's a drama. Connection is a drama about a cop who is a cop on the drug team. He basically goes after people who are on drugs, selling drugs, whatever, importing drugs. He's the drug unit, right? When they introduced this drama about a cop working for the drug unit who becomes addicted to drugs, I was like, how are they going to pull this off? How is Korea going to pull this story off? They did, though. I have to say, it was phenomenal, in my opinion. It was horrible watching this, though, because it was anxiety-filling. I was on the edge of my seat every episode. I was like, he's going to get caught. There is no way he's going to get out of this situation. There is no way he's going to, get away from these people. Oh, my God, they have him on CCTV. There's no way he's going to get caught now. What the hell? Every episode, I was like, oh my God, this is giving me anxiety. But that's how invested I was in this drama. It was so well written, in my opinion. And the acting was phenomenal. Especially Ji-sung. This is my favorite Ji-sung role. I haven't seen all of his dramas. I've seen some, but not all. I don't really have an opinion on him because I haven't seen enough. But of the roles I've seen him do, this is by far my favorite. By far. His acting in this was so believable as a drug addict. It was amazing to watch because I didn't know him well enough to know. I couldn't picture him playing this role. When they announced that he would do this role, I couldn't picture him doing it. So then me watching this drama, seeing him play this role and play it well, I was like, okay, we're here. He was phenomenal in it, along with everybody else, but he really stood out to me in this drama. It was just a fantastic crime drama. It was well written with twists. It was tight, like the twists were tights with barely any threads left by the end. I love the found family. There was a lot of tension and some suspense, which was good, but also gave me a lot of anxiety. I will say it's not perfect. There was a small twist at the end of the drama that I wish was not included because it became a trope. Like a trope that I was like, man, really, we had to go with this trope, with crime drama trope, not necessarily a K-drama trope, but they threw in a twist at the end that really was a crime drama trope. And I'm like, really? You're going with this trope? It really didn't have to happen this way. That was one thing I didn't particularly like because yes, it was a twist. Like you didn't see it coming. But at the same time, I was like, this trope again, this lazy trope again. I thought it was some lazy writing at the end of it. Still, one of the best crime dramas I've ever seen. I can't recommend this enough to people. 9.5 out of 10 for Connection. Next one I'm going to talk about is Marry My Husband. This is 16 episodes. It's on Amazon Prime. I gave this a 9 out of 10. I had a lot of fun with this drama. Could it have been better? Absolutely. It was not perfect, but it was a lot of fun. That's why it's on this list. I was one of those people who enjoyed Perfect Marriage Revenge more. But I still think this Korean drama is solid and it's a fun watch nonetheless. I'm going to put it on this list. I still disliked pretty much what everybody else disliked about this drama, especially with that whole last 4 episodes, like 2 or 3 episodes at the end where they introduced that character that didn't need to be there or that storyline that didn't need to happen. I agree with all of those things, but I still enjoyed this enough. I still wanted to put it on this list because I still think people will enjoy it. I mean, who doesn't like a revenge drama? Who doesn't like a drama where a woman goes back in time and gets revenge on the people that have made her life miserable for the last, 10 years or something? It was a satisfying watch. The revenge was satisfying. The acting was good. The chemistry was good. All 3 couples. I was rooting for all 3 couples in this drama. I love that we got multiple couples in this drama. It was great. It could have been 12 episodes. Absolutely. It could have been 12 episodes. It did not need to be 16. But I still will recommend this. I still think it's a solid watch. I think it was very enjoyable. I did a full review of this drama on the blog or podcast, so you can check out that episode as well. 9 out of 10. I would recommend this to people. Next drama I'm going to talk about is Like Flowers in Sand. 12 episodes. It's on Netflix. This was a surprising watch for me. I mainly clicked play on it because Jang Jung-yoon was in it. Anything he does, I'm at least going to click play on. I might not stick with it, but at least I'm going to click play on it. And I was fully expecting to drop this drama because it is not my normal type of drama to watch. I was fully expecting to check it out and just get bored and drop it eventually, because even if my favorites are in dramas, I drop them. I'm not one of those people that are gonna watch a drama and slog through it just because my favorite's in it, because essentially this drama is a slice of life drama. And that was how it was marketed. Yes, there's a little minor crime murder plot in it, very minor. It kind of didn't even need to be there. Did it make sense to be there? Yeah, it did, but it didn't really need to be there. So if you're going into this, I don't remember what the trailers were. I don't remember the murder plot being a key focal point of the story in the trailers. I could be wrong, but if you skip this drama because murder was involved, I would say still check it out because it's not that. It's very minor compared to what this story is actually. And I was fully expecting to drop it because slice of life is not my thing. I was watching it due to my love of Jang Jung-yoon, and also there was a murder plot apparently in the story. In hindsight, it really didn't need to be there and didn't count, really. But yeah, slice of life drama is usually not my thing, but this drama is amazing. This drama is so good. And I don't think a lot of people watched it. I think there were just so many other dramas playing around that time, not a lot of people checked it out. please go back and check this one out. It is like the definition of a healing drama. Jang Jun-yoon, it's a sports drama. It's a healing drama. Jang Jun-yoon has an underdog story. His acting in this drama, I knew he was a good actor. I love him. I know he's a good actor. He's an amazing actor. But there's a difference with this drama, and I don't really know how I can describe it. But the emotion that he portrays in this drama is just phenomenal. And you can't help but root for his character, because essentially this drama is an underdog story. He's someone who has competed in this sport for a very long time, has not gotten any recognition for it, has not done well. And so this entire drama is his like last hurrah and his last stand. And you can't help but root for that. I was like yelling at my TV because I was so invested in how his character did in these competitions. And it was heartbreaking to watch him lose. It like tore at my heartstrings watching this drama. And I normally don't get invested in these types of dramas very often. And that takes a lot. If I'm invested in this type of drama, that takes a lot. That means the story's really good. Highly, highly recommend this. And not only because Jang Jung-yoon and his acting. You root for his character. You root for his underdog story. His character's personality and outlook on life, I loved that. I loved it. But also, you fall in love with the people around him, his team, the villagers, his family. You learn a lot about the people in his hometown, and you become connected to them as well. That, I think, is also a highlight of this drama, is it's not only him, but it's the people around him as well that you become connected to and root for by the end. The acting is fantastic. Just please go check this one out. 9.5 out of 10 for Like Flowers and Sand. As I said, the murder plot really didn't need to be there, which is why it's 9.5 out of 10 and not 10 out of 10. Next one I'm going to talk about, which I know I've mentioned before, and that is A Shop for Killers. 8 episodes. It's on Hulu, Disney+. Probably not surprised this is on my list. It's on a lot of people's lists because it was a fantastic drama. I mean, it was fast-paced. Right from scene 1, you're like, what the heck is going on? But I'm all in. Scene 1, the first scene in first episode, I will forever remember that scene. I watched that scene with my mouth hanging open because it was just beautifully shot and so well done. I was like, oh my God, this is what we're getting, this drama? Okay, I'm in. Fantastic drama. It was crazy concept, but the drama pulls it off. I like the found family in it, the acting and cinematography, as I said, during the fight scenes, but also up close and personal, amazing, really great to watch. So happy that we're getting a season 2 because it definitely needs a season 2. So happy we're doing that. I can't wait. I can't wait for season 2. I hope season 2 is just as good as season 1. I do have a review of this on the podcast as well. 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it was a phenomenal show. The reason it's 9.5 is because we needed a season 2. Like, really, that's the only reason why. Because I was so mad that we need a season 2 because there's so many unanswered questions. But I absolutely love this drama. So that was A Shop for Killers. All right, we have 2 more on my list. My last one is going to be the number 1 show of 2024 for me. But before that, let's talk about Death's Game. I watched part 1 and part 2 in 2024, so they're both on this list because I think we knew at the time when part 1 aired that it was going to be a couple weeks and part 2 was going to air, so I just waited and binged all 8 episodes. You can watch this on Amazon Prime. I gave this a 9.5 out of 10. This K-drama, it didn't come out of nowhere because obviously part 1 aired in late 2023, but it was one of the first dramas I completed in 2024 in January. And I remember watching this and thinking, if K-dramas are like this for the rest of the year, this is going to be one of the best years of K-drama land. That turned out not to be the case, but Death's Game really set a precedence for 2024. This drama was amazing. This drama blew my mind. I definitely left thinking about it. It definitely left an impact. It sticks with you. It sticks with you a lot with the messages and the acting and the story. It sticks with you. Acting was great. I love that it had so many cameos and had such a big cast. Not surprising at all that I love this drama as much as I did. The story really took you for a ride, and it did not let go until the end. And you really didn't know what was going on half the time, but that was part of the fun. You cared about these characters and rooted for them. You lived all these lives through this one person living their lives. And that was a unique take that this drama had, and I really liked. And through those lives, different lessons and messages were said, and you learned from them. And it was a really unique take on a story. And I have not read the webtoon or anything, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It was so unique at the time. And I still remember how mind blown I was with every time jump and every character jump, because you didn't know where he would end up next. And that ending, oh my God, I was bawling my eyes out. Just like the unexpected twist at the end was just like, oh my God, I'm already been crying for 4 episodes and now we hit this. Death's Game is definitely on my list. It was a standout for 2024, in my opinion. I also have a podcast review up for this drama on the podcast, so you can go back and check out my more in-depth review of this. Amazon Prime, 8 episodes. I rated Death's Game a 9.5 out of 10. Last but certainly not least, we've gotten to my number 1 show of the year of 2024. This is the only drama that was ranked on my list. My number 1, nothing was going to top this drama, really, and nothing did. And you could argue if this is a Korean drama or not. I'm just going to put it here, and that is Pachinko Season 2. 8 episodes on Apple TV. When Season 1 aired, it was my number 1 show of that year, so it's not really surprising that Season 2 is also my number 1 show, Korean show at least. This show is a masterpiece. I have not read the book, so I'm only going on what the show is. It is a shame that Apple TV is not promoting this. It is a shame that a lot of people can't watch this show due to access or anything. I am so excited to see what they do with this show. I'm so excited. It's hard to make a season 2 better than the first season, or at least equal to the first season. And I think Pachinko accomplished that a lot. And I honestly feel privileged to watch this show. It's so good. There's not words to describe how much of a masterpiece this show is. And I really, really hope it eventually gets nominations and awards, because it really deserves it. Just like Shogun did. I mean, it deserves awards. Beautiful, beautiful OST, gorgeous cinematography, has a wonderful story with a rich history behind it. The characters, you grow to love them. You grow to root for them. You become connected to them. They have a heartwarming story, but also is heartbreaking at the same time. It's another drama that has a very impactful story to be told, and that needs to be told. I can't wait to see what they do with the rest of the seasons they plan out for this, because Season 2, I loved Season 1. It was something new, something unique. Season 2 really upped the ante, especially because it took place during World War II. The shots that they got and the story they told around that time period was beautiful, but also heartbreaking and emotional. It was really impacted you. I cried all throughout this show. I normally do, though. I know this might not be considered a K-drama because it's not made in Korea. I don't think if Korea had made this show, I do not think it would be the same show. I don't think it would be the same story. I don't think it would have the impact that it has with how it was made. It might have a different impact told from a Korean perspective in Korea. But I think because it's made in America, produced in America, told from like a Korean American perspective, that is what makes it special and unique. And I don't think that story could be told in the way it is told by anybody else. Well, it could still be really good told by a Korean perspective, but that's like being from a Korean American's perspective is what it makes it unique and makes it special. So is it a Korean drama? I don't know. But I'm still putting it on this list because I need to talk about the show. So I don't have a review on my podcast about this, but coming soon, there is going to be a review on somebody else's podcast. So look for that. I will be guesting on Jess, the host of the Daebak KDRAMAS podcast. We talked about this show coming soon. So you'll hear more of my review of that over there. But this is my number one show. Pachinko Season 2, 10 out of 10. Yes, I had minor issues with it, but there was not enough to give it anything under a 10 out of 10. Favorite Korean show, Korean K-drama of this year, Pachinko Season 2. Highly recommend. And that is my list. That is my favorite Korean dramas of 2024. We finally have this list out. I know it is a little late. What is some of your favorite Korean dramas? I know I did not name a ton that other people have loved and talked about. So what are some of your favorites? What are some from my list that you want to check out now? Please let me know in the comments or DM me or whatever how you choose to communicate with me. I love to hear from you. Look forward to my non-Korean list that is coming out later this week. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope we have a good drama year in 2025. Bye. If you want to continue the conversations about dramas that were started in this episode, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky under the username No Sleep for Dramas. That is No Sleep, the number 4 dramas, just like in the title of the podcast. This podcast is also an expansion of my blog, so you can visit my blog at www.nosleepfordramas.com, the number 4 dramas.com, and find multiple years of blog posts already available at your fingertips. All links are in the description of this episode. Finally, please give this podcast a like or a follow wherever you listen to the podcast. Leaving a comment or a review also helps a lot. We love hearing ideas and feedback from all of you. Share the podcast with your friends as well. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and I am your host, Caitlin. I will see you here next time, and I hope you get no sleep chasing the next episode just like me. Good night.